Bon, bonjour. Ouais, des dialogues. Ok. Ok. Je lance le jeu pour mettre les choses dans les bonnes sensibilités souris, accélération souris, inversion souris moins. Tuer touche, c'est le relais. Tuer. Ok. Bon, attendez. Ici, ouais. Donc je suis en cours, mais c'est que de la pratique. Ouais, bah si t'es en cours, en fait, t'es pas sur le live, donc tu vas aller en cours et t'as pas besoin. Bah laisse-moi sur le côté, mais c'est pas bien. C'est pas bien, ma touche. Donc on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour un nouveau live sur The Stanley Parable. Donc c'est un jeu qui a été gratuit à un moment sur Epic Games, que j'ai pris parce qu'il a l'air intéressant, qu'on m'a conseillé aussi. Et du coup bah on va le lancer. Vous voyez ça là? Je crois qu'il me dit quelque chose ce jeu, mais il me dit quelque chose, mais bon, on verra. Ça se trouve je le connais déjà. C'est fort probable, j'en ai regardé beaucoup. Alors, the end is never the end. La fin n'est jamais la fin. Ok. La fin n'est jamais la fin, donc ça veut dire qu'il va y avoir plusieurs fins et ce sera jamais la fin. Ok. Je comprends. Je comprends. C'est long?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Cool. Attendez. Oula. On va laisser un peu le jeu. Non, c'est pas ça. On va baisser un peu le jeu. Voilà, on va le mettre à 60. Voilà. Ok, alors il me semble que j'ai déjà joué. Enfin, je crois que j'ai pas vérifié les touches et du coup ça doit être un AZERTY ou une connerie comme ça. Alors, option, clavier souris, modifier les touches. Ça veut pas. Comment on modifie? Retain, take a screenshot, pause game, pause, console. Ouais, je me comprends. Ok, déjà je peux me déplacer. Après j'aurais peut-être besoin d'autre chose, mais... Ok, donc c'est bien cynique. Mais oui, je connais ce jeu. Je ne sais pas. J'y ai déjà joué.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Disparition.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Comment on utilise les objets? J'ai déjà joué à ce jeu.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Canard. Je vais le canard. Alors, ouais. J'ai déjà joué à ce jeu, donc je crois connaître la fin. Ça part dans tous les sens, c'est très drôle. Mais quand est-ce que j'ai fait ce jeu et comment est-ce que je l'avais eu à l'époque? C'est encore une bonne question. Ok. Il n'y a pas de porte... Je sais pas si je viens pas déjà de là. Non.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
La porte de gauche, c'est celle-là. Mais moi, je vais aller là. C'est pas le bon chemin vers son nom, mais Stanley s'est éloigné. Il était s'arrêter au salon de bain, la porte juste pour admirer. Mais oui, c'est un jeu très très drôle.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Je suis caché. C'est qui vient me trouver? Je suis caché.
Yes, really worth it being here in the... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Dessus, je détecte une fois. Il y a des trucs là en bas.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision.
Tu as calqué le jeu, mais je sais pas, peut-être, ou alors je l'ai sur Steam ou une connerie comme ça. Je sais pas trop. J'ai déjà joué à ce jeu. Je connais la fin. Je crois que c'est sur Steam que je l'avais eu. À un moment, il était gratuit, j'imagine. Ah! Putain. Dans la main, tu peux pas quelqu'un d'autre, alors décroche le téléphone. Je décroché et je m'atterris.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
T'es moche.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Bon, veuillez appuyer sur 8 de votre clavier. J'appuie sur 8, ça fait rien.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
C'est trop drôle, tu vas voir.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Bah non, je vais pas appuyer juste pour te faire chier, là, rateur de merde. Mais je crois que je l'ai fait en live en plus ce jeu. Hein. Enfin, en fait, je sais pas. Peut-être que c'est une version terminée et que ce que j'avais c'était une version démo ou une version alpha, enfin un truc comme ça. Parce qu'il me semble que je l'ai fait en live, mais il s'appelait pas comme ça. Mais c'est exactement la même histoire, donc on va rester bloqué là longtemps. J'ai pas envie d'appuyer sur ton G. J'ai envie de partir d'ici. Ça, t'es moche. Bon, bah, j'appuie sur G.
In his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen.
Faut vraiment que je vérifie en fait, parce que je suis pratiquement sûre, mais sûre à 100% que j'ai déjà fait ce jour-là. Peut-être pas en live en fait, mais je sais pas, mais il me parle. Non. Mais genre c'est il y a longtemps, hein. Très très longtemps. Hein. J'avais fait un live toute seule, donc c'était limite avant que j'ai des modos en fait. Avant Doki. Je crois que c'est ça. Attendez. Mais si vous étiez là. J'avais fait du Isaac. J'avais fait plein de jeux dans ce truc live. Non, c'est pas ça. Ça doit pas être exactement le même jeu, mais c'est vraiment le même. Mais je suis sûre. Je suis sûre, ça me parle trop. Le bureau, les pièces et tout. Je suis sûre. Si j'y ai pas joué en live, j'y ai joué de mon côté. Et non, c'est pas ça. Accède à la chaîne, s'il te plaît. C'est pas. Appuie sur 7.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers
là, je dois voir un truc à faire.
had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
On va passer du
So,
temps avec les
he went
enfants.
further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even
Ouais,
mattered what lay behind
mais
each
je sais
door.
pas, ça me rappelle
The
trop de
mere
trucs. Il est avec
thought that
le
his
téléphone,
decisions would mean something was
les
almost
pièces,
too
le
wonderful
bureau.
to behold.
Allez, mais je veux partir. You can't jump. J'arrête pas d'appuyer sur.
As he wandered through this fantasy
Cool.
world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line.
Ou alors
that
c'est là une
waved in many
suite ou un
directions.
jeu.
And down another was a game with a baby.
Je te
And he
jure.
called it the Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable. Je vais appuyer sur 4.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
En fait, c'est la même voix du narrateur. Je m'en rappelle très bien.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality,
Le numéro de bureau, c'est exactement le même.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Ouais, voilà, le numéro du truc, c'est le même. Mais je te crois. Mais ouais, mais en fait, ça me perturbe parce que j'ai envie de savoir d'où est-ce que je connais ce jeu. Parce que soit c'est une session de jeu que j'ai fait seule. Soit c'est un truc que j'ai vraiment fait en live il y a 2 ans. Mais peut-être que c'est soit une suite, soit quelque chose dans le même type ou du même Jean-Jean qui a fait quoi.
That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen.
Ouais, mais je te
He
crois.
won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Je l'ai fait.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
J'ai pas envie d'appuyer sur J. On va attendre encore un peu. C'est long. Du coup, je vais appuyer.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Peut-être que j'ai joué à une version bêta. Hein. Veuillez mourir.
Stanley pushed a button, and I tried again.
Parce que je peux pas appuyer sur J. D'accord, loading. Si tu veux, loading. Ok. On se retrouve à nouveau ici. Ouais. Ça me parle trop cette histoire, je vous jure, ça me parle trop. Trop perturbant.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Et on recommence parce qu'on n'a pas fait comme lui il dit. J'ai pas le temps de tout lire. peux rien faire d'autre, mais j'appuie sur un truc. Peut-être. Mais ça s'appelait pas pareil, donc c'est pour ça que je comprends pas.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Allez, on va suivre ce qu'il dit. Mais c'est exactement ça, je te jure, j'ai déjà joué.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Il est moche le whiteboard manager. To do.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet.
Voilà, Romain ça c'est pareil.
So he turned around and got back on track.
Je me rappelle de ça.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Non, mais ça va, hein. Ça me dérange pas, mais
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing
je suis pas
nothing?
debout.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. It didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Je suis bien dans mon placard à balai, ok? Laisse-moi tranquille.
To you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say,
Tu diras,
did you get the
trouver la fin dans le placard à balai, c'était pas préféré.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Mais oui, c'est trop bien. Je me rappelle.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Et gros,
He
moche,
probably
vraiment,
ended up
vraiment
in jail because
stupide.
of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug
Voilà.
money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Tu dois être mort.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit,
Tu as
and were
coupé
just about
rapide
to
et tu
leave
étais sur
because
le
there's
point de
nothing
partir.
here, when a physical malady of some sort
si nerveux.
shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
C'est juste du placard. Ça me fait trop rire, c'est génial. On va attendre, voir s'il y a un autre dialogue, et on le saura après. Il est beau ce placard, non? En vrai, ils ont fait plein de détails. Ils savaient très bien que les gens allaient spotter là-dedans pour entendre les commentaires du genre Monsieur Bidule truc. Moi, je crois que les narrateurs disent plus rien après.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Il dit de monter, moi je descends.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Tu vas te calmer, hein?
Himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
Coincé dans une boucle
this
temporelle.
was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now.
Keblo, Keblo.
Hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Eh ben non.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Tu vas te calmer? Moi, je suis pas paniquée, hein. Calme-toi, l'ardeur. Calme-toi. Marielle. C'est pas Stanley.
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
C'est fini? Ah, il n'y a pas de fin. Parce que maintenant, on va prendre la... Je pense qu'on va prendre les contrôles de Mariella. Non? On recommence, d'accord, on recommence. C'était une fin. C'était une des fins. Allons-y.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Si vous avez remarqué, on vient d'accélérer un truc, enfin, d'appuyer sur un truc particulier. Bon là maintenant, il faut le suivre en gros, pour avoir la fin.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
On va essayer de monter du coup, qu'en bas on... C'est Isaac version 2. Ok. Des trucs qu'on peut ouvrir. Hein. Ouais. Exclusive bathroom. Plus. Bon, direction le bureau.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Je crois que le jeu a planté, mais je suis pas sûre. Ouais, le jeu a planté. C'est une tristesse impalpable. Où est mon souris? Le jeu a planté, je sais pas où on va en mettre un du coup. Je sais pas si ça fait des sauvegardes automatiques ou pas. Ah, ça galère. Ouh là là. Ouh là là. Ouh là là. Ok. Tu veux bien marcher? Petit ordinateur d'amour? Ouais. Ah. 2, 8, 4, 5. 2, 8, 4, 5. Mais quel... Il y a un coffre-fort où? 2, 8, 4,
Stanley
5.
just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2,
Quel
8,
appareil?
4, 5.
Je comprends. Hop. Ah là.
2, 8, 4, 5.
2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons
Non,
on
ça,
the
ça
keyboard,
l'année dernière.
Stanley
Ouais,
happened to
ça
input
vraiment
the
par les bruits
correct
du hasard.
code
C'est
by
non.
sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Je me rappelle tellement. Petit amour. Et tu vois, ça a réussi, hein. Il a bien voulu de moi. Ok, je rentre dans un ascenseur avec un gros bouton qui fait des étincelles qui sont pas du tout... Pourquoi je vais là? Pourquoi je rentre pas chez moi, tout simplement? Hein? C'est quoi? Y'a personne. Rentre chez moi. Je veux pas d'instruction. Je me casse. Je rentre chez moi, je vais dormir. À cause de mon ventilo, j'ai les mains gelées quand je joue. C'est horrible.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit
Il se sentait
peculiar.
étrange.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years
Ah oui,
he had
pendant
never
des
occurred
années,
to
il a...
him? This
Non, je l'ai pas fait
question
de
would
bisous.
not go unanswered for long.
Ah bah, fais pas peur comme ça, Mimi.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Centre de contrôle, escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
C'est infini.
The door
Mais des
behind
camps,
him was
ouais.
not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Je suis allée tout droit vers la mort. Un jour, je mettrai les gants. Peut-être. Oula, il est trop déplacé. Voilà. Très dur de te mettre comme il faut. Attends 2 minutes. Merci. Oula, buggy. Buggy, il est tout buggy.
Into motion, and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his
Bon
demise.
sang,
It
ça
reflected
disparaît
that his
des
life
attaques
had
et
been
sa
of
vie
no
n'a
consequence
pas été
whatsoever.
aucune
Stanley can't
conséquence.
see the bigger picture. He
Porte
doesn't know the
du...
real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Ah!
Stanley,
Attention, mort imminente.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
C'est une fin. D'accord.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game,
Bonjour,
back in his
bien
office,
envie.
as alive as ever. What
sons
exactly
font
did the
peur.
narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
C'est un musée, ça. C'est une fin, en fait. Office. Les crédits, tout ça. C'est une des fins. Mais oui, il y a plein de fins. Il y a énormément de fins. Et là, en fait, on n'a même pas vu un quart du jeu, en fait. Enfin, de ce que j'en sais, on n'a pas vu un quart du jeu. Et encore, je suis même pas sûre d'avoir vu tout le jeu, moi, quand j'y ai joué. Enfin, je crois pas après. Mec. Mais par contre, je sais pas comment on fait pour recommencer le jeu. Peut-être si je vais là. Je peux pas. Stanley Office. Non. Voilà, l'exit est là. Je crois que je suis câble. Vous voyez, on voit des trucs dans le musée qu'on n'a jamais vu en fait. Au final. On se balade et tout, mais on voit des trucs qu'on n'a jamais vu au final. Je crois qu'on a tout vu, donc on va y aller. Hein. Les horloges et tout, on va aller à exit. Et puis en espérant qu'on va recommencer pour pouvoir poursuivre. C'est quoi ça? Une fenêtre. J'étais où? Non, c'est là de ce côté. Alors, vas-y.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to...
Excusez-moi.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Time choose for you. Don't let time.
Oups. Oupsie. Je crois que j'ai pas fait ce qu'il fallait faire. T'as bugué encore? Je sais pas. Je peux pas me déplacer, je peux pas... Rien ne marche. D'accord. Allez, avance, fais quelque chose. Il veut que je recommence peut-être. Recommence à nouveau. J'ai mis recommence à nouveau. De toute façon, je vais recommencer tout depuis le début. Pour avoir vu toutes les fins. On va voir. Mais bon, je savais pas trop quoi faire. Donc, allez, on recommence.
Even now, Stanley's
Est-ce que
office was a
c'est
distant
sauvegardé
memory.
ou pas?
What did it
Non,
look
je
like?
pense pas.
There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Je sais pas ce qu'il a dit, j'ai pas eu le temps de lire. Il n'y a pas eu le... Celui qui fait un truc bizarre. Oh. Je sais pas si on doit pas recommencer depuis tout le début là. Tant pis.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Je fouille pas parce que j'ai déjà fouillé.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Écoutons de la musique New Age. Mais par contre, bouge ton cul en fait. Je vais me faire démotiser là, bouge.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Bah, en fait, le truc c'est que j'ai pas, je sais pas si du coup, enfin, si ça compte dans l'histoire ou pas, ou si j'ai vraiment recommencé toute une sauvegarde. Je crois pas, parce que il a l'air de m'avoir retenu que j'avais déjà fait. Donc.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
On repart là-bas. J'ai trop envie de repartir là-bas en vrai. Go.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
J'ai envie de retourner parce que je crois que je suis un...
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Tout droit vers la mort. C'est parti! Boum! Alors...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this.
Il y a forcément un truc à faire ici, mais je sais pas quoi. Il y a un bouton rouge, il y a des boutons rouges, il y a des trucs rouges, mais je sais pas quoi faire. Je sais pas quoi faire. Je vais crever encore une fois. Oh, d'accord.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated
Ok, on arrive là.
as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Moi, je vais voir le truc que j'ai loupé tout à l'heure. Donc, je vais voir le truc que j'ai loupé tout à l'heure.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
J'y vais direct.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
On va l'écouter là.
Can you see? Can you see how much they
Les
need
deux
one
besoins
another?
de l'autre.
No, perhaps
Peut-être
not.
pas, parfois ces choses ne peuvent pas
Sometimes
être
these
vues.
things cannot be seen.
Que j'ai pas pu écouter, j'ai été
But listen to
interrompue.
me. You can still save
Encore les
these
sauver,
two.
tu vas rester
You can
là
stop the
avant qu'ils
program
échouent
before they
tous les
both
deux.
fail. Push escape and press
C'est
quit.
quitter.
There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now.
D'accord, donc tu veux que je quitte le jeu. Mais comment je peux pas? Retourner au menu. Bah ça va pas marcher hein. Attendez, je quitte, je vais voir. Je sais pas. Ok, bah, on recommence, allons-y. Excuse-moi, ouais, y a pas de souci, t'inquiète. J'essaye de trouver une fin, mais en fait, j'y arrive pas. Je peux appuyer sur mon truc. Est-ce que vous voyez quelque chose là? Non. Oui. Bah, le jeu ne répond pas. À mon avis, il doit y avoir un truc qui doit se déclencher à ce moment-là. Et il répond pas. Là, ça a l'air d'aller. Non, il répond plus. Il a du mal à se lancer. Quel dommage.
This is the story of a man named.
Click to skip. Ouais. Ok, donc on réarrive ici. Ah, je peux pas me
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go
on n'a
anywhere
pas le même truc, on est d'accord
The
hein.
thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break
Je
me.
peux pas réouvrir, donc
And
c'est
here
pas moi
I
qui
can be
choisis.
happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Ok. Donc il y a vraiment quelque chose qui s'est passé, hein, que j'ai quitté le jeu comme ça.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Et
could
là on
it mean?
recommence.
Stanley
Retourne
decided
dans
to
la
go to
boucle.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Je suis pas folle, hein, c'est vraiment le bon jeu. Hein. Du coup ça se fait dessus. Ah non! Ouais, j'ai eu une fin, j'ai eu la
When
fin.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ce n'est jamais la fin. Hein. Là ce jeu, oui.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Je
a
trace
wave
un
of
peu.
disbelief, Stanley
Parce que je
decided to
pense
go
pas qu'il va
up to
faire
his
quelque chose
boss's office. Hoping
de
coming
plus.
to a
En bas on y est
staircase,
allé, on a
Stanley
tout
walked
fait.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Il manque plus que aller dans la direction que qui veut qu'on aille.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret
qu'est-ce
was
que je
being
fais?
held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety
Ah
isn't
non!
healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some
En fait, je vais aller
calming
plus
wait
vite,
music.
mais je vais plus lentement parce qu'il met son truc avant de démarrer. Allez, ouvre-toi, passage secret. Ouvre-toi. Ouvre-toi. Démonétisation. Non, c'est pas motivé. Ça sert à rien. Mais je vais me faire strike à cause de ces histoires là. Je peux pas marcher là? Non, je peux pas. Allez, bon, bah on continue. Allez, on retombe. Allez, Vas-y, on meurt.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Tout droit, ouais. Et là, cette fois, on va tout droit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Tu me dis pas quoi faire là? Tu as pas le jeu sur ça. Même j'ai autre chose.
An enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Je vais te le retrouver, je te jure. Ah! Pas du tout flippant.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Nous on est
Each bore the number
427.
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Mhm. Est-ce qu'il y a un truc particulier à 427? Non, effectivement, c'est bien notre bureau, mais rien de particulier.
This mind control facility, it was too
On
horrible
va
to
croire que
believe
ça
it
peut pas
couldn't
être
be
vrai.
true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alors il veut que je détruise les contrôles, ok, t'es bien gentil, mais bien sûr je l'ai pas écouté, donc je sais pas comment. Il y a d'autres boutons. Ça c'est le 5. Attention 2. 3. Oui, mon 4. Il est là, mon 4. Je cherche un bouton 4. impressionnant, mais c'est délirant. 1, 2, 3. Le bouton 4, il est ouf. J'ai pas vraiment écouté ce qu'il disait, le monsieur, donc il est là. Là-bas. Il y a un bouton rouge, j'ai vu. Ça fait rien? Ça fait rien. Non. Alors il y a une combinaison que j'ai pas suivie. Tu vas faire les mêmes bruits que tout à l'heure ou pas? Il y a un 6e bouton et je l'ai pas vu. Je comprends pas. D'accord. Super. Je comprends. Hop. Je vais m'en aller. Tant pis. Mind control is a waiting input. 1, 4, 2. Qu'est-ce qui a marqué? 1, 4, 2 peut-être qu'il faut que je fasse. 1, 4, 2. 5, 2, 1. Il n'y a pas de 0. J'ai pas de 0 donc ça ne m'aide pas beaucoup ça. Il y a des chiffres hein, mais peut-être que si tu te mets dans un certain angle, à un certain endroit, tu peux voir des choses magiques. 5, 2, 1, 4, 2. Je sais pas. Comment est-ce que je suis censée voir la combinaison là? 1, 1, 2, 5, 2, 1. On va essayer 5, 2, 1. 5. Je peux pas aller plus vite là. 5, 2, 1. J'ai pas vu le bouton 0 donc ouais. Ça fait rien. Ça fait rien. Deux, 1, ça fait rien. 1, 4, 2, peut-être. Est-ce qu'il faut... C'est peut-être un code, mais je l'ai pas, moi, ce code. Je comprends. R. C'est quoi, je m'en vais? Je m'en vais, on verra après, si on revient là après. On verra, parce que je ne connais pas, je comprends pas. My controlling amazing input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood
for. C'est pas un peu trop simple?
Oh, Stanley, You didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait cette machine.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground.
Y'a un code à trouver!
Everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you. It's rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Non, je comprends rien.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment of your powers, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy.
Jaune.
Wanting to control this world, that's fine.
Ça marche un peu.
First, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's
Goodbye, employé. Bon bah, voyons. Il doit pas y avoir de solution. Donc je la comprends très très pas. Je me rappelle pas de cette fin. Donc le jeu doit avoir changé depuis que je l'ai eu. Et je suis morte. Ça va me laisser comme ça ou il faut que je recommence? Oh putain. Bon bah une fin de plus.
Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Ça va être long. Ouais, Mattel, c'est impressionnant. C'est. Parce que je pense qu'il y a comme il y a moyen d'arrêter le truc, mais du coup d'avoir une autre fin. Mais j'arriverai pas. On serait trop. J'arrive pas à l'écouter quand je joue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Je vois pas mon curseur en fait. Non mais non, mais mon curseur. Viens là, curseur de merde. Il veut pas. C'est qui est bleu. Ah mais c'est ouvert. D'accord. Il en a eu, il a rage quitte le narrateur, il a rage quitte. Je pensais qu'il y avait quand même besoin du truc, mais en fait non, il a rage quitte. Bla bla bla.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Allez, on y va.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
C'était ouvert. Ouais. Et quand on joue comme ça là,
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
les trucs sont buggés qui ne l'étaient pas avant, je crois. Enfin, qui sont rouges mais qui ne l'étaient pas avant. Et on ne rappelle pas avoir eu autant de rouge la dernière fois.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't
pas être vrai.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control?
T'as compris toi l'énigme qu'il y avait là? Entre les boutons et
had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Si j'arrivais à comprendre cette énigme, peut-être qu'on pourrait avoir une fin en plus, mais...
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
On est d'accord que ça, il y a pas... Enfin, on ne va pas y toucher pour le moment. Donc il y a forcément une énigme déjà avant et ensuite vraiment, après
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
On va voir ce qu'il demande, on va voir ce qui se passe. Pas trop prêter attention, ouais, t'inquiète. Pas de soucis, mais je comprends pas, en fait il y a des numéros sur les portes et tout, mais je comprends pas trop et là, en fait, je vais faire ce qu'il demande pour voir ce que ça donne. Après, on recommencera si... Tu me dis pas ce qu'il faut faire là? J'ai fait ce qu'il m'a demandé, mais...
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Ah,
Where
c'est ça.
had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ok, donc ça c'est la fin heureuse du narrateur, quoi. Best the game. Non. Beat the game. Je sais pas ce que ça veut dire. Suivre le jeu, peut-être. Et on va recommencer parce qu'en fait... Ouais, il y a un truc qui va pas, hein. Il me doit me manquer des infos, là.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself. And constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Il n'est pas le truc... Bon, bah. Il y a une espèce de brouhaha. Mordre le jeu. Ah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Voilà, le passage secret avance. Mais quoi, du coup? Parce que j'ai fait exactement ce qu'il m'a dit. Et quoi? Est-ce que quand je me suis échappée, j'ai pas fait le bon truc et du coup il me reste encore une fin là? Ou est-ce que c'est la fin où j'appuie sur le bouton on et après il y a un truc et j'arrive pas à le comprendre?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
600 personnes, pardon.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley,
ce sont les fins que tu as accomplies.
Eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind-control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
C'est fermé là-bas.
Or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls
Il y a des
once
boutons
and
de 1
for
à 5,
all.
je les ai tous trouvés. Là, 1, 2. Le troisième, il est derrière là. 4 en haut, 5 ici. Sauf qu'en fait, je comprends pas. 0, 1, 4, 2, 0, 5, 2, 1. Il n'y a pas de 0. Enfin, en tout cas, je ne l'ai pas trouvé, le 0. Donc, en fait, je comprends pas cette énigme-là déjà. Et ensuite, quand... là, il y a un bouton rouge, mais on peut pas appuyer dessus. Là, on peut appuyer sur les boutons. Mais ça fait rien. Si on peut les appuyer. Ah, ils ont des... Il y a des symboles dessus. Mais on les voit très mal. Il y a une maison. On voit très mal les symboles qu'il y a dessus. Mais c'est tout cassé en fait. Ils sont tout cassés. Ça marche rien quoi. Par contre, quand tu mets off là-bas, redis les chiffres. 5, 0, 5, 2, 1 et 0, 4, non, 0, 1, 4, 2. Je sais pas s'il faut les assembler, bah, dans quel sens. Et le 0, vu qu'il n'existe pas, bah voilà. Est-ce que 0, 1 c'est du binaire? Parce qu'il y a aussi 0, 0, 0, 1. Tu vois, peut-être que c'est... Je sais pas, moi je pensais du binaire, mais j'y connais rien. Donc, peut-être pas tellement. Le 3 il est là. Je sais pas. Ou alors faut appuyer un certain nombre de fois dessus. Mais je sais pas trop. Il y a une énigme avec ces chiffres. Là c'est répété 5, 2, 1. Il y a deux fois 5, 0, 5, 2, 1. Il y a deux fois, je l'avais même pas vu ce truc. Il s'est répété deux fois, 5, 2, 1. Et il y a un... Je pensais juste à un truc. Bah dis-le. On peut essayer, hein, ça coûte rien. C'est répété deux fois, 5, 2, 1. Il y a ici et là. Le 0, je sais pas comment le mettre. Parce que je peux même pas appuyer sur le bouton rouge là. Tu sais, à la limite, on peut dire, ah, c'est le 0. Non. Réfléchissons. Prenons notre temps, réfléchissons. Peut-être que si je monte là, j'aurai une vue d'ensemble sur le truc. Je comprendrai un peu mieux. Non, pas tellement. Parce que je vois pas les 5 de 1 d'ici. Ah! Il y a un petit chiffre là. Comment on arrive à le lire? J'arrive pas du tout à lire, mais il y a un tout petit chiffre là. Saute! J'arrive pas à le lire du tout. On dirait un 2, 0, 2, 4. Mais du coup, ça a aucun sens. Les autres nombres. Quel autre nombre? Il y a ça et il y a ça. Là, il y a des petits chiffres, mais j'arrive pas à les lire. Donc, on va pouvoir zoomer dessus. Moi, je peux pas. Prendre un screen. On va zoomer. Attendez. On fait ça. Je sais pas si ça marche. Je sais pas si ça marche. J'ai pris un screen, je vais essayer de zoomer. Pour voir ce qu'il y a écrit. Ça se trouve, c'est rien du tout. Mais... vois que ça n'a pas pris de screen. Ah. Comment on prend un screen déjà? Ah mais il n'y a pas de 0. Ça marche pas. C'est 400... C'est 0, 1, 4, 2. C'est 0, 1, 4, 2 et non 0, 4, 1, quelque chose. 0, 1, 4, 2. Moi j'arrive pas à prendre de screen donc ça va être compliqué. J'avoue que... un screen. Non mais ça prend pas. Je comprends. Hop. Si ça a pris. Voilà. Ah bon là. Alors, zoomons. On dirait un 2. Je sais pas. On dirait H 2 0 2 4. Donc c'est pas ça. Bah non, c'est pas ça, j'ai pas de 8. Je comprends pas. Je peux pas améliorer la netteté là. Attendez, on va voir. Non, pas les filtres. Ajustement. Clarté. Non, pas de vignettage, on s'en fout. Je m'en fous. C'est de zoomer, mais c'est compliqué. Je sais pas, peut-être 23. Je sais pas. Je sais pas. Ça m'aide pas beaucoup. Bon, il y a des chiffres là, mais j'arrive pas à les voir, donc c'est simple, ça ne nous aide pas du tout. Et du coup, je vais aller voir sur l'autre truc, peut-être que c'est l'autre, visiblement. Il y a une énigme. Ça y est, il y a une énigme. 7, mais c'est pareil, j'ai pas de 7. C'est pas très clair, hein. On voit pas grand chose. Là aussi, il y a un truc. Ah, attendez, faut que j'augmente ma luminosité d'écran, peut-être. Eh, qui sait? Non, ça doit pas être là. Comment on fait déjà? Oui, oui, je sais bien. Alors... Éclairage nocturne. Non, vas-y, mets-toi à fond. Alors, voyons voir. On dirait que c'est les mêmes choses, mais pas très lisible non plus. Tu vois quelque chose, toi? En plus, avec YouTube, tu dois rien voir. R voir. R voir. R. et revoir, c'est fou. Je vais refaire un imprimé écran et je vais refaire. J'espère que ça a marché. Non, ça n'a pas marché. Génial. Trop bien la vie. J'essaie de chercher. Sinon, je vais aller regarder Internet. Parce que ça va me saouler en fait. Moi je veux 4 pixels. Mais ouais, mais je sais bien. J'imagine bien, c'est une merde. Comment on fait une capture d'écran à la fin? Capture d'écran, mais oui. Là, je crois que je suis arrivée. Est-ce qu'on va voir quelque chose? Pas plus que ça. Modifier. On va déjà rogner. Alors, là. Là, voilà. À 2 chiffres. On devrait peut-être pouvoir aller. Ouais, je fais des trucs, ça n'a pas trop de sens. Hein. Couleur. Initialiser. Lumière. Ok. Bah, ça m'aide pas beaucoup. C'est le même truc. Marqué H. 21 peut-être. H21 ou D24. Peut-être que tu en as pas besoin maintenant, mais après tu auras besoin un moyen de les voir. Je sais pas, mais en tout cas c'est marqué H27 D24 ou 21 peut-être. H21 ou 024 ou D24. Mais je suis pas sûre que ça soit utile. Je pense que j'ai fait ça pour pas grand chose. Mais je n'ai aucune idée. On va essayer 21, 24. Pourquoi pas après tout. Oh. Un. Bah c'était pas ça. H21 D24. H21 H21 D24. C'est pas de l'hexa, ça s'appelle 21 D24. C'est pas ça non plus. Ils font des bruits bizarres. Ils font tous les mêmes bruits ou il y a des fois ils font des bruits on dirait il y a des fois on dirait j'ai raison et des fois on dirait j'ai pas raison. Bon, j'ai toujours pas compris cette énigme de chiffres. Tant pis. Continuons et puis on va mettre on et on va voir. Que nous dis-tu, narrateur chéri? Rien du tout.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Bon, sois avec moi parce que là, il y a une énigme, c'est sûr.
But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better.
Il y a ça.
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the
Il y a
power
tous ces
you
petits
think you
boutons
do,
là.
for example, and I believe
Il y a un
you'll find this
danger,
pertinent.
il y a un 10
Stanley suddenly realized
en
he
bleu.
had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is
Une
activated
barre,
without proper DNA
un
identification,
symbole
nuclear
de... comment on appelle
detonators
ça?
are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
Ça c'est allumé tout à l'heure.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now.
Là, il me dit, il faut que je tape sur un bleu. Je comprends pas. Parce que là, il y a du bleu avec marqué 10 dessus. Est-ce qu'il faut que je note sur lui? Je vais essayer, hein. Bah, ça marche pas. C'est marqué un bleu.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Essayez le code.
Other times, I let the office sink into
Entrez
the
un
ground,
code.
swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
Il reste 45 secondes pour essayer de comprendre. Parce que ça marche pas. Ah si, ça marche.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything. Something here will save me. How would you think that, Stanley? This video game can be beaten? One solved?
Je comprends pas le jeu. Je comprends pas. Ah merde, fallait peut-être que j'aille appuyer sur le bouton rouge. J'avais appuyé sur le bouton rouge là. Non. J'aurais pas le temps. J'aurais jamais le temps, je suis perdu, je sais pas quoi faire. Je sais pas quoi faire, je comprends pas le jeu. 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 Trop tard.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to start.
Allez.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown.
Je comprends pas le jeu.
Will you cling desperately?
Donnez-moi la solution.
Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
Je me rappelle pas de ça.
Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we.
C'était pas comme ça tout à l'heure, si? Ça a duré aussi longtemps? Hein? Bon, t'as compris quelque chose, Matoche? J'ai reçu un message de Proxima. Ça concerne pas le jeu. Dis-moi que t'as compris quelque chose, s'il te plaît. Dis-moi que t'as compris quelque chose.
was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Non plus le truc qui se charge.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
On
door
attend
on
là.
his left.
Là, on est en sécurité. Hein. On va pas nous tuer. On va pas tuer tout le monde. Tout va bien. Tout va bien. Il nous parle pas par contre. Je vais pas faire de choix, donc je reste là. Je suis une plante verte qui fait un bruit de clavier. Il y a une fenêtre là, alors que de l'autre côté c'est un couloir. Nous avançons. Ça change pas grand-chose.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Je comprends pas la fin en fait. Allez.
Here's the door, just go.
Peut-être que je l'écoute pas assez. Je suis trop paniquée et du coup je lis pas assez ce qu'il dit. Et ça se trouve il me donne la réponse en fait.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Là-bas, là-bas on a tout fait aussi.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Tu peux aller regarder sur internet?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co.
Parce que je sais pas si je mets, si je désactive, est-ce que je vais avoir la même fin que ce que j'ai eu tout à l'heure? Ou est-ce que ça va s'adapter en mode de ah, mais t'avais la même fin, donc qu'est-ce que tu fais? On fait une autre fin, tu vois? Ou alors il faut peut-être trouver la solution aux chiffres avant d'appuyer sur le bouton. Ou alors faut pas appuyer sur le bouton. Plein de trucs aussi, mais...
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
T'es toujours là, Matoche? rien. Là aussi, elle se colle. Je comprends rien. Matoche. Es-tu encore là? Visiblement pas. Ou alors t'es en train de regarder un truc pour regarder la solution. Je veux cette fin, mon dieu. Forcément une fin heureuse, même en activant le bouton. C'est donc le film.
Bonjour.
Ah bonjour. Explique-moi, 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 explique-moi.
Alors, je suis en train de chercher, je t'envoie un truc sur le Discord. Tu vas vite fait voir, tu vas comprendre pourquoi c'est tellement la merde.
Ah.
Tous les points rouges et oranges, c'est toutes les fins possibles du jeu.
Faut qu'on regarde qu'est-ce qu'on a déjà eu déjà. Alors, start.
J'ai pas trop regardé, j'étais à moitié dessus en fait. Et tout ce que je sais, c'est que toi, t'as eu la broom closet, donc déjà, ça en est bon.
J'ai eu quoi?
Est-ce que t'as eu une fin dans les escaliers? Attends,
Je me souviens pas.
attends, t'es où? Power, off, on. Ah, ok, c'est là. C'est la dernière des fins que t'as ici. Ok. 2845. Non, c'est pas bon. Non, c'est pas bon. Non, c'est pas bon, attends. C'est le Power Life fin. Attends. Parce que je suis en train de chercher en même temps sur internet.
Ah, les larmes.
Mais il y a 16 fins. Attends. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, il y en a beaucoup trop.
5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Non, il y en a plus que 16. C'est chiant. Attends, muséum ending, tu l'as eu. Happy ending, happy ending. Attends, ça doit être là. Mais là, lui, il est au paradis, là. C'est normal. Ah, j'ai peut-être la fin. J'ai peut-être la fin que tu cherches.
Power. On, boom. Mais en fait, si on met on, c'est obligé que ça boom.
Non. On, c'est life. Off, c'est boom.
Non, c'est l'inverse. Je sais pas.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il fait?
Il y a une semi-fin là. Secret disco. Wait before going and stay room and press l'item button. Bah c'est ça, c'est ce que j'essaye de faire, mais...
Est-ce que t'as la salle où t'avais un bouton on et off?
Oui, mais je l'ai fait, ça. J'ai fait le off et ça m'a permis d'aller vivre ma vie et de sortir du bâtiment. Et j'ai fait et le on, et ben en fait c'est là où j'arrive en mode... en fait c'est la boum, après je meurs.
Ah, je laisse. Laisse-moi comprendre. Du coup, là, il va appuyer sur on, j'imagine. Ok.
Et c'est après avoir appuyé sur on, je sais
Oui,
pas
oui,
si
là, je suis en train de voir. Je suis en train de regarder. Il faut que tu ailles sur le... Attends, qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Il faut que tu ailles sur la machine qui s'appelle console disable.
Oui.
Attends, qu'est-ce qu'il fait?
Parce qu'on a pas beaucoup de temps en fait. Donc...
Il attend la fin du discours, je crois.
Ouais.
Ok, Ok, là il est 2 minutes. Ah, il y a une porte qui s'ouvre et qui se ferme instantanément.
Où?
À côté de la machine qui dit console disable.
Attendez.
Du coup, quand il y a bouton rouge qui s'active.
Attendez, il faut qu'on voit ça là.
Bouton vert, attends, bouton vert.
Ah
Attends,
oui, il y a une porte là.
Bouton vert. Attends, j'ai éteint ton live.
Non, non, mais oui.
J'ai pas vu. J'ai pas vu ce qu'il faisait.
Je me bats un coup.
Donc quand t'as le bouton vert, tu dois appuyer sur vert.
Ouais, mais il y en a 12 des verts.
N'importe, je crois. Mais je crois que t'as un îlot où t'as presque toutes les couleurs.
Bah ouais, je l'avais il me semble que je l'ai trouvé. Là, il y a toutes les couleurs là.
Quand t'as le 3 bleu,
Il doit me manquer juste le
3
violet.
bleu, tu le fais pas. Ah, c'est perché.
Et comment tu peux savoir ça? Il me manque.
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait?
Là,
Toi,
je crois
quand
que j'ai
t'appuies
toutes
sur
les
le gros
couleurs, là.
bouton rouge,
Ça
il
marche
reste
pas.
activé?
Non. Ça me dit que c'est pas le bon code. Donc j'ai pas fait le bon code. Là, il y a pas mal de trucs là.
Attends. Take de la d'or.
On peut jouer à ces jeux pendant des heures, je crois.
Ouais. Mais je vois pas comment ça marche le truc. Parce que là, il appuie sur 1, il appuie sur les couleurs. Pas compris. C'est la countdown ending Stanley Parable.
Salut.
Countdown ending. Il dit de rentrer 2, 8, 4, 5.
On va essayer 2, 8, 4, 5.
Oui, mais il n'y a pas de 8.
Ah non, il n'y a pas de 8.
C'est bon, on est content de voir ça.
Ah mais 2, 8, 4, 5 c'est... Non, d'accord. C'est 2, 8, 4, 5 c'est juste avant. C'est genre...
Oui, bah ils disent de le rentrer aussi.
Bah non, c'est pas possible. Pas de 8. Parce que le 2, 8, 4, 5 c'est la solution pour le passage secret.
Oui.
Et il le répète le monsieur.
Je suis en train de voir.
Pas très doué en énigme.
Attends.
Mieux placé, c'est ça. Je pense.
Ouais, bah, par contre, on est content que tu restes devant l'écran. Mais... Ok. Attends. Mais il va pas faire la solution là. Oh putain, mais ils sont débiles les gens. Fort.
Hmm.
2, 1. 3, 4, 5, 2. Je comprends pas. C'est doing. Ouais. Je comprends pas. C'est perché.
Bah oui, terriblement perché. En même temps, ce jeu est perché, j'ai envie de te dire.
Oui. Et il y a le bouton bleu qui s'affiche et qui s'affiche, il appuie sur le violet.
Ouf, c'est nul.
Je comprends pas.
Allons chercher les solutions. Moi aussi, je vais chercher les solutions de mon côté. On devrait bien trouver à plusieurs.
T'es toujours en live?
Bah oui, bien sûr.
Parce que là, il arrive à monter, je sais pas comment il fait, mais... Oh, je comprends rien.
Alors. Le placard à balai. Ah, mais du coup, j'ai peut-être pas eu la solution complète du placard à balai. Peut-être que j'aurais dû rester, il m'aurait fait tuer.
Ah, t'es pas resté?
Ah, j'ai pas celle-là. Je vais pas me spoiler. Explosion.
All of his except Eve. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this
En fait, il n'y a
machine
pas de solution. C'est impossible de revenir en arrière. Genre, juste ça va...
Press the number button in this order. 44, 53. Quoi? Attends.
Tout ce que je trouve, c'est juste impossible.
J'ai trouvé. Je crois que j'ai trouvé. Parce que là j'ai une liste de boutons qu'il faut que tu appuies.
Quoi?
Là j'ai une liste des boutons qu'il faut que tu appuies.
Attends. Je suis plus dans le jeu. Qu'est-ce que... Bah vas-y, on essaye, hein, ça.
Attends.
Mais genre avant d'avoir déclenché ou pendant le truc? Parce que pendant... T'es sûr de toi? Parce que moi ce que je trouve c'est genre y a pas de solution en fait.
Si le mec il a déclenché.
Il a mis on. Il a mis on ou off?
Il faut mettre on. Là où il y a le compteur au bout.
And when at last he found the source of the
Bah je mets on. Allez hop, mais je fais quoi après?
Ensuite, il faut que tu ailles taper 44 avec les chiffres.
Attends.
44, 50,
Je parle trop fort.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
44.
You don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the
Pas du tout à l'autre bout du monde.
detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA
Après, tu referas un
identification,
44.
nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation?
Ah, mais à un moment, il te rajoute du temps. Ok.
Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
53.
It's your time to shine. You are the
44.
star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious
44.
moments each one of them is.
53.
More time to
Encore?
C'est répété 2 fois. Oui, oui, c'est normal.
about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Je sais pas si je vais
All
le
right,
faire.
I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you
Quand tu as
exactly
fini
what
53,
happened
tu
to them.
feras un 215.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
200.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone
Allez, bouge.
inside, or I let it burn
Pas
to
le
a
temps,
crisp.
pas le time, t'as pas le
I have
time,
to
t'as pas
say
le
this
time.
though, this version of events
Quand tu as
has
fini
been
215, t'en
music.
feras un autre derrière.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on
C'est
the
impossible à
next
trouver
go
tout
round
seul, ça.
will be even better. My
Non,
goodness,
je pense pas,
only
je pense que les gens sont
34
amusés,
seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
Après, il faut
You
appuyer
know
sur le
what?
bouton.
To hell with it.
Après, il
I'm
faut
going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Et après,
Oh dear me, what's the matter,
Ah,
Stanley?
tu refais un
Is
215.
it that you have
je
no
l'ai
idea
déjà
where
fait,
you're
mais
going or
je
what
l'ai.
you're supposed to be doing right
332.
now? Or did you just
332.
assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look
Il
at
faut,
you,
il faut en faire 2 de
running from
332 maintenant.
button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little
À mon avis, ça va rien faire du tout. Pourquoi?
No, these colored ones,
J'ai
or
vu la
maybe
vidéo,
this
ça
big
marche.
red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will
Il est
save
vieux
me.
ce jeu.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any
Et quand
idea
t'as
what
fini
your
le
purpose in this
332,
place is?
tu devras
Ouais.
attendre.
But
Tu
you
devras
really
te diriger
believe
vers le
there's
gros
an
bouton
answer?
rouge. Tu devras
How many
attendre
times
que le
will you
timer
replay
ait un
this bit,
8
looking desperately for a
en
solution?
secondes.
10,
Genre,
100,000?
t'as le 1,
I look
2
forward
points,
to
20, 20
finding out
quelque
and to
chose.
watching the
Sauf que le 20, il faut que ce
bomb
soit
drop
0,8.
each time you
Et
fail.
t'appuieras sur ce bouton
Just you
rouge
and
à ce
me
moment-là.
in the retching
Il faut que quoi?
explosion of fire and metal
Il faut que
over and
t'attendes que
over
le
and over
timer,
for all of
il reste
eternity.
8 secondes.
And
Il faut que ce soit
Stanley
8,
died again.
sinon ça marche pas.
And Stanley
Ah.
died again.
Et
And
du coup,
Stanley
ouais.
died again.
332 deux fois et tu te diriges vers le gros
Take a
bouton
look
rouge.
at the clock, Stanley.
Je crois que j'ai fait 302 fois. Je me suis déjà vers le bouton
30
rouge.
seconds until a big
Et tu dois attendre les 8 secondes à la fin. Il faut que ce soit pile à 8
When you
secondes.
cling desperately
Moi, je vais jamais arriver.
peacefully,
Si tu regardes et quand c'est 9, tu retournes ta tête
it's all
et
the
tu
same
appuies sur
to
le
me,
bouton.
all a part of the joke.
On croit
And
en toi.
believe me, I will
Bah, ça va pas
every
marcher.
second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in
À
until
quel
the
moment
moment
t'as
I say,
appuyé?
Bah, en gros, tu m'as dit 9. Bah, j'ai regardé et j'ai appuyé. Mais ça va pas marcher. Non, mais au pire, c'est pas grave. Tant pis.
Parce qu'il y a eu aussi un code avec les boutons de couleur, hein, mais ça par contre j'ai pas compris.
C'est tombé.
T'as appuyé beaucoup trop tard. Pardon.
Bah, j'ai appuyé comme j'ai pu.
Mais t'inquiète, on t'en veut presque pas. Tiens, tu regarderas cette vidéo et tu comprendras.
Oh, j'ai la flemme, il m'a saoulé. Là, celle-là,
C'est au moins de faire la fin du placard à balai.
On va faire ça. On va aller faire la fin du placard à balai. Parce que j'ai pas
ça
fait.
finira sur une
Someone was
vraie fin.
following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was
Au
only a
moins ça
matter
fera
of
une fin dans
time.
une fin, genre la fin dans un jeu.
Ouais,
Pour la fin d'un live, je sais pas. Ok.
oui, c'est ça. Donc on va arrêter. Mais j'ai déjà joué à ce jeu, mais je sais pas quand, je sais pas où, je sais pas pourquoi. Mais...
Bah, il a déjà plus de 6 ans parce que les vidéos les plus. J'ai vu une vidéo qui datait de 6 ans
When
dessus.
Stanley
Donc,
came to a set of 2 open doors,
Placard à
he
balai.
entered the door on his left.
Où es-tu, placard à balai? Après, je crois.
Yet there was not a single person here
Je peux
either.
plus de cette voix là qui
Feeling
me
a
parle dans
wave
les
of
oreilles.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Bim.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
T'entends des
but there
voix.
was
Voilà.
nothing here, so he turned around and got back on
c'est
track.
dans le placard à balai.
Donc ça.
There was nothing here, no choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
On n'entend pas, quelque chose derrière moi, j'espère.
Non, ça va.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Ah, mais c'est bientôt l'heure de manger.
Ouais.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Attends.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this
C'est intéressant, hein.
Ouais, surtout qu'on l'a déjà fait en fait tout ce dialogue-là. Après, je suis sortie donc.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really
Et je parlais que c'était un dialogue après qu'il y avait la fin du.
Ouais, sans doute.
That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Ah merde, j'ai oublié de faire ça aussi. Oh, j'ai trop de choses à faire.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit,
Ah, c'est bon?
and were just
Non.
about to leave
Non, non.
because there's nothing here.
C'est son
When a
dialogue.
physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
J'étais arrivé là et après il parlait plus.
Peut-être attendre plus longtemps.
Ouais, mais c'est long.
Oui, bah je veux bien le croire. Il y a peut-être une action à faire, il faut voir. C'est un broom ending.
Ah,
Sauf il y a une interaction à faire. Un all ending.
non. Et arrête d'ouvrir la porte.
Oh, il y a une fin Minecraft.
Ce jeu est interminable. Tu sais, si j'ai pas eu cette fin là, ça se trouve c'est que en fait j'ai fait toutes les autres
Elle
fins
est
la
pas
dernière fois.
débloquée. Attends, donc à la base elle est fermée cette porte. Attends. In the office.
Ça marche pas très bien cette fin. Hein.
Si Stanley décide d'y rentrer, le narrateur lui dit plusieurs fois si Stanley ne quitte pas le placard à balai, le narrateur commencera à l'appeler par ses noms et fera allusion dans le 4e mur à une fin du placard à balai. Bien qu'il n'existe pas de telle fin, le narrateur appelle finalement et déclare qu'il est possible que Stanley ait obtenu son emploi. Finalement, le narrateur suppose que la personne qui joue Stanley Parable est décédée sur son clavier et demande à toute personne à proximité de prendre sa place. Stanley sort et rentre du placard à balai. Le narrateur s'exclame que le deuxième joueur est aussi stupide que le premier. Revisiter le placard à balai ennuiera le narrateur. Il faut que tu sors et que tu rentres.
Ok.
Revisiter le placard à balai ennuiera le narrateur de dire qu'il a fini finalement. Ok, faut que tu sors et que tu rentres plusieurs fois. Et à un moment, il y aura un truc spécial et quand tu recommenceras le jeu, la salle sera fermée.
Attends, j'attends la fin
La fin
du dialogue. Voir s'il y a un autre dialogue ou pas.
Joueur 2, bienvenue à bord. Ressort et rentre maintenant. Ah non mais attends, il est encore... Ah oui pardon, j'avais mal vu. Bah, avec le décalage.
Je sors et je rentre, ça fait rien. Il faut que je ferme la porte.
Oui, il faut que tu fermes la porte. Et je crois que
bah, ça marche pas.
Bon, je crois que maintenant quand tu vas recommencer, la porte sera fermée. Voilà. Donc tu recommences. Et quand tu vas recommencer, cette porte sera fermée. Définitivement. Avec des barres de bois.
On va voir.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
L'intéressant,
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Je sais pas quand est-ce que ça me perturbe de pas savoir quand est-ce que j'ai joué à ce truc. J'ai pas fait un truc.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
On va à la porte du...
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Il y a un truc là. Oh non.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Il y a trop un truc là. Mais je crois que ça reva au même endroit que... Allez, j'y vais.
Je sais pas où t'es. Mais t'es allé voir le placard à balai?
Non, pas encore. C'est pas bien. Mais en fait, je voulais tester un truc. Et du coup, j'ai testé. Sauf que du coup, j'ai trouvé un autre passage.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right.
Ah oui, effectivement.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ok. Ah! J'atterris dans des trucs... Oh!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet.
Ferme les yeux, ferme les yeux.
Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
En gros, au lieu d'essayer de rattraper l'histoire, du coup, il s'est dit ah bah on va recommencer parce que j'ai fait une mauvaise main.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley...
Ah.
Wait.
Oupsie, je verrai jamais la fin.
I swear I definitely restarted the game over completely.
J'ai tout cassé.
Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Je pense que j'ai tout cassé.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find.
On va trouver l'histoire. Je dois aller trouver l'histoire. Autant te dire qu'en fait, c'est un grand labyrinthe là qui se présente devant moi.
Ah.
What the fuck. Je suis partie trop loin. Je voulais juste voir un placard à balai. Ok, bon, on va essayer de prendre la truc de d'habitude.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, il a redémarré.
Tu iras voir la fin,
All of his co-workers were gone.
le
What
placard à
could it
balai.
mean?
Ouais, bah,
Stanley decided to go to the
quand
meeting
ça marchera.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Quand il aura arrêté de tout casser.
Parce que si ça marche pas, je peux m'en vouloir.
Ouais, mais peut-être que j'ai déjà tout cassé en
Okay,
fait.
yep,
En fait, je pense que j'ai tout cassé avant de pouvoir aller voir.
It's possible the story is back where we just
Parce que j'ai commencé une autre
Why don't we go back the
série
other
de...
direction and see if we missed anything?
Tout cassé, en fait. J'ai tout cassé. J'ai cassé le jeu.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ok.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Ah, j'avais pas vu dans quel endroit tu te trouvais.
No, I don't feel
Dans un
right
truc
about
en
this
bois
at
là.
all. we both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Je redémarre. Encore.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Just follow the line. Je follow the line. Je suis sage, je follow the line.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such
Elle est
that a
perdue la ligne
destination
là.
is inevitably
Elle est
coming
bourrée.
into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music.
Elle est cassée ta ligne. Oula, oula, c'est quoi ce bruit? Arrête ça. Tout... Ah, oh là là, oh là là, oh là là, oh là là, oh là, oh là là, là là. Oui.
Cut the music.
Arrête la musique, retourne-toi et regarde cette plante.
Stanley, this fern
Le plus important dans le sois sûr de l'étudier attentivement, si bien ça j'en viens. J'ai pas envie de manquer quoi que ce soit, non? Ok, bah une plante, ouais. Oh putain, ça... horrible.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Je vais encore tourner en rond, là? Je me prends R. Bon, vas-y, je suis la ligne, Si je tourne en rond, je suis la ligne. Ah!
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh,
Si,
I
je suis
can't
la
take this
ligne.
anymore, to hell with it. Restart.
Restart!
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting.
Ça me donne pas envie d'arrêter, putain!
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
L'heure du repas m'appelle.
Ouais, bah ouais, je sais.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Ah, mais je me rends compte qu'on m'entend pas sur le live. Trop bien.
On t'entend pas?
Ouais, enfin, presque pas, j'entends en fond.
Oh no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse
J'ai pas
door
entendu.
that leads here. And that in turn means
Je
that
crois
our
qu'il y est allé, mais je suis
destination
sûre.
corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Attendez, parce que j'ai plus le chat sur les yeux. Mais en fait...
And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Ah, ending. Confusion
Hold up,
ending.
what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
On a une fin.
What if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a...
Ouh. Bon, je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là, hein. Malgré qu'on ait commencé une histoire plutôt rigolote. On va s'arrêter ici. Voilà. Parce que ben c'est quand même tard. Ça doit être midi, ouais. J'espère quand même que ça vous aura plu, que ce petit jeu vous aura plu. Après on s'est bien acharné sur un truc, mais en fait il n'y a pas de solution, je pense. Il y a énormément de fins, donc si vous voulez jouer, bah n'hésitez pas, parce que bah il y a énormément de fins, donc on n'a pas tout vu, c'est clair. Et merci d'avoir suivi ce live pour ceux qui ont suivi, d'être sur la rediff pour ceux qui sont sur la rediff. Et on se retrouve bientôt pour de nouvelles aventures, de nouvelles vidéos, tout ça, tout ça. À très bientôt. C'était Rokie.